Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Kano Tryharding Modern. Today, we will be playing one of the most recent 5.0 lists for Tron. I feel like it's been long enough that I can at least attempt this. I've got a feeling we are going to get absolutely clobbered by the current metagame, with all of the Uro still running around, and the Tybalt Cascade decks and such, that we have no way to fight. But people want to see it. It's been long enough. Technically, by the criteria I was using, which is totally made up and arbitrary, by the way, just what I was using as a general guideline, Tron fits in the Mad Meta Magic category right now. So, yeah, that should tell you some stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead and take this into a modern league, and we'll see what happens. I'm honestly expecting to go about 2 and 3. That is my prediction. So we're going to go 2 and 3. Alrighty, here we go, round 1. I mean, we have all the Tron lands we could ever want. I'm gonna keep... You have like 3 turns to top deck an actual threat, and Walking Ballista is not terrible, I suppose. Alright, players' power plant, pass the turn. Double natural Tron, a hand that I've never before kept. And we're only drawing Tron lands. Well, I mean, if that's something that happens, across this entire league, is we just only draw Tron lands, I'll just start mulliganing to threats only. Alright, opponent flashes in Ice Fang Quaddle, which I think actually looks a lot better with the snow border than the original. Alright. Play Walking Ballista X3. This is almost certainly getting countered, but they're letting it resolve. Interesting. Kill the Quaddle. Okay. Opponent fetches with Misty Rainforest, gets a Hallowed Fountain untapped, and is going to Path Ballista. Alright, we'll ping our opponent for 1 as well. And this actually helps us an immense amount, because we're not holding any threats. But we are holding an Ancient Stirrings. So we untap, we draw Chromatic Star, play Ancient Stirrings, take Ulamog, rest to the bottom, play second tower, cast Ulamog, nuke 2 lands. Opponent mana leaks Ulamog, that's fine. We are way ahead now. We do have a redraw as well. Opponent gets a Glacial Floodplain. I really like the art on these lands. I know that like people are probably sick of all the snow stuff going on, but I really like the art. So at least they're pretty to look at while I'm losing. Start Chromatic Sphere, crack for green. We draw Ancient Stirrings, so cast Ancient Stirrings. Yeah, we'll take Karn. Rest to the bottom, any order. Play Karn. We get remanded. Play Chromatic Sphere. Crack Sphere for green. Tron lands only. Alright. Opponent plays a Stoneforge Mystic. And scoops. Alright. Wow, I'm not used to this sideboard at all. I didn't even look before I started playing this game. So bring in Veil of Summer. What is Snow Control running out of the side? And why do I suspect it to be Damping Sphere? Ice Fang, that's the card I'm looking for. Yep, they're running Damping Sphere. Okay. So we need Nature's Claims in at a minimum. I also want Veil of Summer. All Is Dust is probably not as good, neither is Walking Ballista, so I'm going to cut 1 of each. I'm going to cut 1 Worm Coil in case I need to wish for it, 1 Oblivion Stone in case I need to wish for it, and honestly, another Worm Coil. Let's try it like this. Okay. This is a mulligan. We have way better 6s than this. 2 of the same Tron land and no tutors for land is not great. Alright, this has potential. It's a little risky, but I'm going to keep it. We have a Sylvan Scrying and an Ancient Stirrings. It is unlikely that my opponent has a turn 1 counter. If they do, they've already mulliganed to 6. So, start Urza's Mine, Chromatic Sphere. It resolves, pass the turn. Opponent plays Prismatic Vista, cracks it for white, plays a Stoneforge Mystic, probably getting Batter Skull, or Sword of Feast and Famine. Sword of Fire and Ice, I didn't expect that one, but okay. We get a Power Plant, so play Power Plant, crack for green, Sylvan Scrying, get a tower. Pass the turn. Now, depending on what my opponent does here, I could play Karn, or I could play Karn and then next turn wait for Veil of Summer. They've chosen Karn Liberated for Pithing Needle, which means casting Karn Liberated is not that great. So we're going to play an Ancient Stirrings. That's the bad thing about having to reveal your threats before you play them. Okay, pass the turn. Next turn we'll have 8 mana, which isn't enough to cast Ulamog, but it is enough to... I mean, maybe get an Ugin. Okay, opponent puts Sword of Fire and Ice into play. They equip Sword of Fire and Ice, and they're going to start getting extra draws. We are on a 4-turn clock currently. Okay, we untap. We draw another Ancient Stirrings. Cast Ancient Stirrings. Karn Great Creator can't really get a whole lot that's useful to us at the moment. Ensnaring Bridge doesn't do anything. Trinisphere hurts us. Spyglass doesn't do anything. I mean, it gives us something to play this turn. The alternative would be Walking Ballista, like on 3 or something like that. I'm going to take Karn because they may have to counter it. Yep. Okay. Alright, pass the turn. I mean, next turn we're playing an Ulamog with Veil of Summer backup, so hopefully that's enough. Opponent plays a Noble Hierarch. Gets in for 3, 4, shoots us for 2 more. We go to 9. Another Pithing Needle. Well, that we're not scared about because we're holding Blast Zone. So what I'm going to do is when I cast Ulamog, I'm going to hit, I think, Sword and Breeding Pool. I'm expecting a path, and there's nothing I can do about it, but... Well, at least we didn't get mana tithed. Okay. Get a land, pass the turn. So next turn we'll play Blast Zone into Karn with Veil of Summer backup. Opponent's going to attack us for 2, that's fine. We untap, draw Chromatic Star, play Blast Zone, activate it, play Karn, nuke Stoneforge, play Chromatic Star. Okay, the reason I did things this way and didn't play Wormcoil is because if my opponent has another path and we play Wormcoil, we are absolutely toast. What is this? Brazen Borrower. Well, that's something that can attack and kill Karn. That is frustrating. I do not have removal that can hit that currently. Honestly, kind of hoping to top deck an Ancient Stirrings into another Ulamog. Yeah, they have to attack Karn here. There's just no other option. So Karn down. We untap. Well, we draw another Karn. That's fine. Sack Star for green. See what we draw. Okay, play Power Plant. Oops. I don't need to tap that way. Play Karn. Game's over. Alright. Didn't expect that, so I'll see you guys in round 2. Alrighty. Round 2, here we go. Maybe I stand to be corrected, and instead of my fear of Tron just losing to like hard combo every game, the fact that Uro and 5-color whatever lands are not to put 3 cards back. So we're putting back All Is Dust, Ulamog. You know what? I'm gonna risk it. We're putting back a tower. We're gonna start Chromatic Sphere, hopefully into Sylvan Scrying, and then Expedition Map for a 3rd Tron land. It looks like we're against Boggles. That's gonna be fun. But what was my original thought? Instead of just losing to hard combo, maybe without Uro decks just running rampant in the meta. Nobody's running Blood Moon and Stone Rain and, constant land disruption. I mean, we're probably going to lose to Boggles, unless we happen to draw Blast Zone. there's a chance we can survive if that's the case, but odds are my opponent is going to be quite a bit faster than we are. So we take 3, we untap, we draw Walking Ballista, sack for green, get an Urza's Mine, Sylvan Scrying, get Tron like a god. Power plant. Pass the turn. Here comes Karn. Honestly, if we can distract them with Karn, and then like top deck land Ugin, that's how we're gonna win. Okay, opponent plays a Griff Spoon, hits us for 6. We untap, get Karn Great Creator. I tell you what, my opponent can't beat, and that's Ensnaring Bridge. Not in the main deck. They can beat it post board, but they can't beat it in the main deck 99 times out of 100. Why is my green screen? Am I getting like washed out and that's what's causing the green screen to... Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Yep. So if you're playing Tron against Boggles and they stack up a big Boggle and don't have any gas left in the tank, if you play Ensnaring Bridge, you win. Okay, we're going to bring in 3 Nature's Claim. We're going to cut Wormcoil, Thragtusk. Actually, no. We're going to keep Wormcoil and Thragtusk. We're going to cut Ballistas. And we're going to cut Ballistas in 1 Wormcoil. And then we're going to run it back. Now, post-board, you can't rely on Ensnaring Bridge. If your opponent is playing the meta list of Boggles, they're going to have Force of Vigor, so be aware. If they're playing a non-meta list of Boggles, they'll play Nature's Claim or Natural State. And it's basically always a budget concern. Force of Vigor is what they should be running, but that card is very expensive. So, okay, we're going to mulligan. Natural Tron, Karn, yeah. I mean, like, you know, who even needs to draw cards? This post made by Tron Gang. Opponent starts Boggle. We untap. We draw Nature's Claim. Players is mine. Pass the turn. Now, if they have Damping Sphere, putting back that Chromatic Sphere was certainly incorrect, and I did not even think about it. I should have put back a Karn Great Creator, but... Okay, opponent plays a Hyena Umbra in a Griff's Boon. Okay, they hit us for 3. We untap, play Power Plant, pass the turn. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to play Karn Great Creator into Trinisphere, and then I will cast other spells. Unless, of course, my opponent just goes like triple enchantment here, and I have to Karn Liberated as a very expensive Naturalize. Yeah, Daybreak Coronet is kind of what I was worried about. So we're going to take 8, go to 9. We untap and draw Expedition Map. Players' Tower. So the concern is my opponent has Nature's Claim plus an enchantment next turn. I'm going to risk it, and I'm going to get Ensnaring Bridge, because I really only need to buy a single turn. Alright, it just wins. I mean, if you're going to have Natural Tron into several Karns, you know. Alright, I'll see you guys in round 3. Alright, round 3, here we go. Only 1 land tutor and Wormcoils. We technically have better 6s in this. We are on the draw, and we have 1 redraw with Chromatic Sphere. I actually think I'm going to keep this hand. Normally, I would mulligan to 6 here. Let's see if this pays off. My opponent did keep a hand of 7. Alright, apologies if I start playing really suboptimally. The ban announcement has just come in for me. This is important enough that it's happening mid-video. Fuck this game. Sorry, I shouldn't swear. I really have to get that under control. I've been dropping like an F-bomb a video the last 3 videos. Anyway, Modern, Field of the Dead is banned, Mystic Sanctuary is banned, Simeon's Spirit Guide is banned, Tybalt's Trickery is banned, and Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath is banned. I agree with all of those except Simeon's Spirit Guide. And anybody who says that, well, Simeon's Spirit Guide encourages unfair gameplay by casting spells faster, yeah, it also helped beat control decks. And it's the cornerstone of my personal favorite deck ad nauseum. Well, hopefully this fixes the metagame. They also eroded MDFCs and how they work under Cascades, so the Tybalt deck is gone. So no more trickery. You know what? If Simeon's Spirit Guide had to die to fix the metagame, I'm okay with it. I don't like it, I don't agree with it, but if the metagame becomes fun and playable again, I'm okay with it. Now, time to actually play some Magic. Start Urza's Mine, Expedition Map, let's go. Pass the turn. Now the cool thing is, if my opponent is just playing straight up Burn, we have 2 Wormcoil engines, and Burn has a very tough time beating Wormcoil engine. Sorry, I'm responding to a whole bunch of people on my Discord. Obligatory Discord plug. If you want to join our Discord and hang out with a bunch of people who enjoy jank, magic, and crazy games and stuff like that, please click the link in the description below. Alright, well, players is mine. Have to tutor for a power plant. So this is probably going to be too slow, this game. We needed to kind of draw a power plant that turn, so maybe I should have actually cracked a sphere or a star or something, but... Oh, so since the ban announcement happened during the video, I can actually talk about what I think is going to happen to the metagame. The good news is, for those of you who like Tron, who I presume are the people who are still watching the video at this point, Tron is probably going to be very good in the upcoming metagame. And the reasoning for that is, without broken land interactions with like Field of the Dead, Mystic Sanctuary, control is going to be the like real end game of modern. I like Field of the Dead basically was suppressing. Yeah, there's no way we're surviving this. Field of the Dead was basically suppressing control decks. Mystic Sanctuary was good in control, but it was also good in, I don't know, every other deck that was playing lands. Yeah, there's no way I survived this, but so I think decks like Tron and decks like Jund are probably going to be very good in the upcoming metagame. So you're going to want to play, you know, like low to the ground aggro will still have its place, but it's going to get hated out a lot harder by these other decks that have like life gain tools and, you know, effective blockers, things like that. So, you know, if you like Tron, probably should play Tron. I'm so heartbroken they banned Simian Spirit Guide, though. And anyone in the comments who's like, yeah, but turn 1 Blood Moon, you can completely fight me, I don't care. Turn 1 Blood Moon is a fair thing in Magic. If your mana base cannot handle a turn 1 Blood Moon, your deck is the problem. I will maintain that forever. So, and this is coming from a guy who likes to play decks, well, doesn't like to play, but frequently plays deck like Tron, where, like, you know, Blood Moon is quite a large hindrance. I'm gonna mulligan that hand. This hand is a little bit better. We have a Karn. Hopefully we can do something early with it. I'm gonna put back O-Stone. I could go to 5, but it's risky. Turn 1 Blood Moon is fair magic. The reason that, like, Simian Spirit Guide made decks like Restore Balance and Living End and Ad Nauseam. Well, Ad Nauseam is not possible to play in its current form without Mox Opal or Simian Spirit Guide, which means that I guess you could play Ad Nauseam consolidating on the Thassa's Oracle combo because it doesn't require as much mana, but you no longer Angel's Grace Ad Nauseam is the way to win, unfortunately. Sorry, I'm reeling and I'm kind of rambling in a whole bunch of different directions all at once, so I apologize if this video has become hard to follow for anybody watching. But turn 1 Blood Moon, I'm gonna still be adamant, is totally fine in modern Magic. The reason being is hand hate exists, force of negation exists, and really, modern needs a way to, like, you have to find reasonable non-basic land hate, and even when, what was it, like, even when Omnath was like rampant, turn 1 Blood Moon was like not good enough. Like Raugrin, like your opponent would be fetching up Triomes and playing a 4-color legend on like turn 3, and turn 1 Blood Moon frequently wasn't good enough to hate that out. Turn 1 Blood Moon wasn't the problem. They kind of, I think, overreached just a little bit when they did that, basically to ban a deck like Tybalt's Trickery from ever existing again, because Modern doesn't have the powerful answers that older formats do to deal with degenerate combo. I mean, according to them. I also predict that in the upcoming metagame, a deck like Transmogrify Titan is going to be very powerful, or in general, like Primetime Valakut decks I think are going to be very strong, because Dryad is still a thing, and I mean, so is Primeval Titan. We take 5, we're going to 6. Okay, well, we have a chance if we can draw a tower. I think we have to draw exactly tower, and it has to be on this draw. Okay. I'll play Chromatic Sphere. Oh, you know what? I needed to play Karn Great Creator. That's alright. I'll take a loss versus burn. My mind is not on the game right now, so. Alright. I'll see you guys in round 4. Alright. Round 4. This hand's a mulligan. This hand's a mulligan. I will keep this hand. We're going to put back an Urza's Mine and an Oblivion Stone. Okay, opponent starts Raugrin Triumph. We untap. We're going to play Mine, play Sphere, pass the turn. I hope that the modern metagame becomes more fair. And what I mean by that is like less uninteractive combo. Because that might mean that the decks... I'm going to look at like the major upside. The first major upside is probably the fact that all of the decks that people have been complaining about for a while that really honestly should have been banned sooner are getting banned. Which is one reason why this ban announcement was so sweeping. So really it shouldn't surprise me, but the upside is a lot of the decks that I enjoy playing, like Smallpox or weird land bounce or anything weird and interesting like that, is probably going to be playable again. So yeah, all right. That's my reaction to the ban announcement, as rambling and as weird as it is. We won't have to deal with this ever again, because they changed how modal DFCs work with Cascade. So yeah, now if you cascade into a modal dual-faced card, you can only cast a side that has a CMC less than the Cascade spell. So if you cascade into Valky, you can cast Valky, but you cannot cast Tybalt. Which, this is relatively in line with how they handled split cards. So it's not how I would have eroded the change, but it's a reasonable way to have done so. Alright, play tower. Crack Star for green. See if we can't draw like a Karn. The effective date of the Cascade rules change is in 2 days. So if I'm playing Modern across the next 2 videos after this video, you can expect to probably run into the Cascade Tybalt deck a couple more times, at which point it will disappear, because it will no longer be playable. And the good news is that Uro and all that stuff is banned effective immediately. So we're looking for Karn Great Creator right now, because if we can get it, hopefully we can... Oh, no, we have Sorcerer Spyglass. We can't even Pithing Needle. Alright, pass the turn. Porter, quit licking. Okay, opponent untaps. Opponent exiles. Oh yeah, they're main decking Commandeer, so if I play a Karn on turn 3, they can just steal it. They hit us for 2, we go to 15, we untap, we draw a Walking Ballista, which is just, I guess in theory, something to do here. I'm gonna play around Mana Leak. Kill Valky. Alright, pass the turn. Sorry if that was probably... I didn't mute for that, so there's probably this weird section of me typing. I'm responding to people in my Discord. I suppose my opponent can just alt Tybalt and then Violent Outburst, but... Yep, opponent alts Tybalt. Gets a whole bunch of stars from us and 3 red. They play our Forest. Probably Violent Outburst just to get a new Tybalt. Alright, or they just hard cast a new one, that's fine. They get a second emblem. They exile Karn Liberated and Simian Spirit Guide. So my opponent has a hand of like 1,000,000 cards, but we have multiple Ulamogs, so I mean maybe that does something, right? So play Ulamog, exile Tybalt and Triome. They can't commandeer Ulamog either. Alright, go to combat, attack for 2. They can cast Violent Outburst on their turn when they have mana, and they can cascade into a 3rd or 4th Tybalt or whatever it is. But then we have another Ulamog. We can exile like Ketria Triome. They can also just keep playing lands out of exile because they exiled them with Tybalt. Yep, 3rd Tybalt. Exiling Ulamog, playing Flooded Strand. We untap. We draw an Expedition map. Play Power Plant. Cast Ulamog. Exile 2 lands. Playing around Mana Leak. Go to combat. Attack and kill Tybalt. Put a Crack's Flooded Strand. Gets a Hallowed Fountain untapped, which probably means Path to Exile. Alright, ping Tybalt twice. Because we're playing Walking Ballista. So Petty Theft fizzles. Going to exile, or going to the grave then. Play Expedition map. Crack Expedition map. And get a redundant tower just in case. Pass the turn. I mean, hopefully this makes a difference. We're probably still going to lose, which is a really good indication as why this deck should be banned. Oh, watch this be Ardent Plea into their 4th Tybalt. Wow. I've already made my complaints. I'm actually so sick of this deck right now that I'm not only gonna concede this game, I'm gonna scoop this match because I don't think I can actually beat them. I don't think any combination of cards in my sideboard will do it, and I can tell you that casting a fat Planeswalker using Tron mana will not do anything because my opponent is main decking Commandeer. Which, you know, if you're playing a jank deck and you want to just say F you to anybody playing Planeswalkers, like, go ahead and main deck your Commandeer, and I approve. Especially if you're playing like some weird mono blue Delver with haha middle finger to Tron. You know what, go for it. But when you're 5-color Cascade Soup, well, your deck's banned. So, I'll see you guys in round 5. Alright, round 5, here we go. I'm going to try and be more collected for this one. Yeah, that's a mulligan. That is also a mulligan. The first hand was actually more keepable than this. Alright, Natural Tron Karn. Put 2 cards back. How about Ancient Stirrings and Forest? Bam, problem solved. Starters is mine. Play Chromatic Sphere. You know, I've had more Tron luck this league than I have like the last 4 times I've played Tron put together. Opponent starts Bloodstained Mire, cracks Bloodstained Mire. They hit us with a Goblin Guide. We reveal Expedition map. So play Power Plant. Sack Sphere for green, draw a card. Play Expedition map. Play Expedition map. So because we were on the play, I actually think we're going to uptick Karn on our opponent. We want Karn Liberated to survive at least a single turn versus our opponent. If they were stuck on 1 land, I would Karn away their land, but... Okay, second Goblin Guide, suspend Rift Bolt. Okay, we draw Sylvan Scrying, so play Tower. So what we're going to do is we're going to play Karn, uptick Karn on my opponent's hand. And they either have to spend a huge amount of resources to kill him, or we get to keep him. And if we get to keep him, then we can Expedition map for a blast zone and kill our opponent, like our opponent's whole board, basically. So Rift Bolt coming off suspend, probably going to go to face because Karn has a similar loyalty to our life total. Honestly, I really want them to just play like 2 Swift Spears here. Swift Spear skewer the critics. So we're going to 8, taking 6 and going to 2. This is pretty low. So we basically need to draw... I'm not even sure what we need to draw. It's not another Sylvan Scrying, though, I can tell you that. So, crack Expedition map. Get Blast Zone. Crack Expedition map, get a Forest. Play Blast Zone. Kill all the 1-drops. Okay. I don't like this. But I think my best bet is to nuke Sacred Foundry here. I'm probably still dead, because literally any spell they can cast kills me. Any spell. Except Swift Spear. If they have just Swift Spear and nothing else, we can take one hit. Yeah. Okay, well the odds of that happening were practically 100% with my opponent having 3 cards in hand, but upticking there wouldn't have made a difference. I'm actually not going to sideboard here. I could bring in Nature's Claim if I was worried about Eidolon. Ballista is technically okay, but it's not fantastic. I don't want to play Dismember versus Burn. This hand is way too slow. I mean, we have an Ancient Stirrings, and we have Blast Zone. Yeah, alright. We're going to try this hand. Hopefully we can cast all of our inexpensive spells prior to like an Eidolon coming down, and maybe get out this Worm Coil. Opponent starts Inspiring Vantage, Pithing Needle. Presumably they Pithing Needle Blast Zone or Chromatic Sphere. Alright, well we didn't need Chromatic Sphere, but it would have made our lives a lot easier. Oh, you know what? It's a mana ability. We can still do it. Ha! Nice. Get wrecked, opponent. If it was Chromatic Star, that would have worked. But not Chromatic Sphere. That's actually hilarious to me. So take Chromatic Sphere. Just to spite our opponent. Play Urza's Power Plant. Play Expedition Map. Pass the turn. Opponent recognized what happened. Okay. Well, we drew Tower off of Goblin Guide. So we don't even really need to crack Expedition Map anytime soon. Or at all, really. Alright. Time to play a Worm Coil. And Pithing Needle would not have worked on Star. That is also a mana ability. It would have worked on Expedition Map, a Planeswalker, or like Blast Zone, but... Okay, opponent plays a Sunbaked Canyon. Attacks, revealing Karn Liberated. We will block the Swift Spear. They Lightning Bolt, Worm Coil, Lightning Bolt, Worm Coil. That's a lot of resources to kill a Worm Coil engine. Would we still get tokens out of the deal? So we take 2. They skewer... Is it us or the lifelink token? It's the lifelink token. Okay. Well, we untap. We draw Karn. Sack Star for green. Play Blast Zone. Activate Map. Yeah, alright. We got it. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and run it back. Alright, just had to restart the client because I hadn't this entire league, and so it was starting to lag super bad. This is not a keepable hand. We will mulligan to 6. This might be keepable, maybe. I think I put back a Star. Alright. I mean, if we can play Ugin versus our opponent's deck, it's pretty much a guaranteed win. Oh, we're getting Pithing Needled. Expedition Map. Yep. Haha, good thing I don't have Expedition Map, opponent. Play Chromatic Star. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Goblin Guide. That does give us another look at potentially getting a Tron land. Unfortunately not. Okay, we get Karn Liberated. We'll go ahead and Sylvan Scrying. Get Power Plant. Pass the turn. Turn 4 Tron is fine when you have Ugin. Opponent plays a Wooded Foothills, cracks Wooded Foothills for a mountain. Swift Spear, Lava Spike. So we're taking 7 and going to 11. Opponent only has 2 cards left in hand. Chromatic Sphere on top. So play Power Plant, play Chromatic Sphere. Crack Sphere for green. Draw Urza's Mine. So let's go ahead and get Blast Zone. Pass the turn. What we want our opponent to do is play an Eidolon here. Roiling Vortex is actually the same thing. Okay, we reveal an Ulamog, we take a damage, go to 6. Play Urza's Mine. Play Ugin, and we -2 Ugin here. Alright, pass the turn, and if we survive this turn, we Ulamog both their lands away. Well, we Ulamog both of their Pithing Needles away, or Blast Zone them. Eidolon. Okay. We untap. We draw Thragtusk. New plan. Play Blast Zone. Activate Blast Zone. Kill Eidolon. Play Thragtusk. Bam. Opponent plays a Roiling Vortex. We untap, take a damage. Draw Expedition Map. Play Tower. Play Ulamog. And the game is over. What was my prediction? We 2-3? Well, we 3-2'd. So we did better than I predicted. Even kind of being on tilt a little bit from the ban announcement, banning Simian Spirit Guide. But we get 10 play points and a Titan's Revenge out of our treasure chest. Yeah, so collected response to the ban list, now that I had a minute in between games, I think it's going to be good. I think the metagame is going to be a lot more tolerable and enjoyable. I think some fringe strategies might have a chance at actually becoming more playable, and honestly, the more tier 2 decks of different types that are playable, the better the modern metagame is going to be. It's going to be really fun in the very short term because the metagame hasn't solidified and won't for a little bit. So if you see me playing some weirder decks than usual, that's why. It's because they're going to have more game right now, immediately post-ban announcement. I suspect the metagame is going to, we're going to see a lot more Tron, a lot more Jund, a lot more actual control decks, and then probably what's going to be the best in the metagame is something like Transmog Titan, or like Valakut is probably going to make a return in its previous form plus Dryad. So that's all I have for now, really. Tron's Tron. It's going to get better. We might even be able to dedicate, I think the threat-heavy version of Tron is probably going to be the best, especially in the new metagame, because I expect a lot of individual answers to threats. So playing more threats is probably just going to win you more games. I don't expect you'll see a lot of Blood Moon or Stone Rain unless Gruul midrange or Panza or whatever you want to call it becomes very popular. So yeah, that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. I apologize if I rant and kind of derailed the video for a little bit. But this was sort of a live reaction to the ban announcement because I didn't even know it was happening today. I don't think anybody did. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. You're all wonderful human beings. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to make it to 1,000. We're at like 710 right now, which is very close. At the rate we've been gaining subscribers, we've probably got maybe 6 months to get there, which is exciting when I think about it that way. And yeah, so you can also follow me on Twitch. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, though the last few times have been earlier than that time. And I should probably drop that from my spiel because I should probably just set a new time earlier in the day, but that is the time that I can still agree upon for now. It will be no later than that time. So if you are interested in seeing my live content on Twitch, it's a ton of fun. I interact a ton with chat and always have a good time. Same username over on Twitch as you find me here on YouTube. So hope to see you guys there. You're all wonderful human beings. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!